Hi, it's the autistic Gen X unemployed software developer with anxiety and depression, but some call me Tim. And I wanted to talk about being unemployed because as a senior software dev, it seems impossible to find a job. Like, I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. That I would say that's the major place I search for stuff and apply for things. And, you know, every job I see immediately comes up. There's 100+ applicants. And then I apply for it. I'm completely qualified. And then an hour later, I get an AI auto-generated response says, sorry, we're not continuing. I've received, 100 of these so far. They're all the same. Like, they don't even try and hide it. It's just the same AI template. But the problem is we're using AI to make code, and at some point, the code, at this point, AI is trained on code, so it can only duplicate what's already been made. If you're trying to do something fringe or outside the box or something nobody's ever done before, AI is not going to be able to do that right now. They're trying for this general intelligence or super AI that can learn from itself and improve things. Is that even going to work? I don't know. Is the AI going to come up with code that humans don't understand? Are you really going to turn the AI loose on your server and let it delete everything and generate its own build tools, deployment tools, and revision control where you have no control over everything? You have no control over anything, and yet you don't know how any of it works. So even if you were given control, how the hell are you going to use that control? You won't even be able to understand what it's doing. It might just be spitting out binaries or, just some weird language where everything's just written in ones and zeros, right? And then what? You're getting rid of junior engineers because you don't need them anymore. And then you don't need as many senior developers either, so they're all going to go away. And you're going to be left with nothing. It's just dumb. So if you're out there and you're feeling bad, you're thinking this is terrible. Here's the way I think of it right now. Software, this is software development. You can, you don't know anything, you know everything. And now, it's shortened to anybody can get involved. And the distance between a senior engineer and somebody who doesn't know anything is very small, right? It could even get this small, but then, it's just going to expand again. That's how big it is now. It was tiny, so okay, and they'll just expand it out to a scale of 0 to 100. And if that gets cut in half, they'll just expand it 0 to 100. And the people that know how to program are always going to do better than the people that don't. Always. Now, if somebody is a software engineer and they don't realize it, I didn't start coding until I was 28. I had no idea I was a software guy. But they'll do fine, and you'll see them and go, oh, well, they can do it. Yeah, but it's because they're a software engineer, even if they don't know it. For example, I've been using Claude to rewrite an app in Zig that I had written in Odin just to see if it could, right? And the only reason it's gotten as far as it has is because I know all the tools that it's using. I know how it's supposed to use them. And the minute it starts going off on a tangent, I say stop. I revert all the code it wrote and I go at it in a different direction. If you just turn this thing loose and said, hey, I want a thing, it's too vague, right? It's just going to make a bunch of slop. So you need to get really, really specific. But if you do that, that means you know what you're doing and can write it yourself. And so basically, I think at this point, you shouldn't use AI to write code that you couldn't already write yourself. There's nothing wrong with it doing some research for you, generating documentation, things that would take you a long time. but you could do it. I mean, I know how to Google documentation and read documentation. Instead, I just say, hey, pull in this repository with the source code and then use that as your documentation. And it does. That's fine. I could also read the source code and figure out how it works on my own. So I think people that are very, very good at software, their careers are only getting strengthened, but it's going to take a while. And I don't know how many of us can survive this point in time when most of us have been laid off and can't find jobs. You know what happened? I have a friend of mine. I used to work with him. He was one of the only good people at the company. He used to work in games, worked at EA, and then he's like, screw that, right? Because it's just like the worst company ever. And now he's doing this programming, and he left that to go do some AI stuff. And now he's decided to become a police officer. And he said, and I quote, it's for my mental health. Like in this day and age, he would rather be a cop than write code. And that's going to happen to a lot of people. A lot of us are not going to code anymore. We're not going to get software jobs. We're going to find something else to do. And then the world is fucking screwed because we won't come back. As soon as, he's just like, oh my God, this is so much better. I'm never going to go back to programming. You're not hiring us. You're letting us loose. We're going to find other ways to make money. We're going to play online poker, or we're going to become streamers, or we're going to become YouTubers, or we're going to go off and, write our own software. And we're not going to come back to your companies, and it could be very catastrophic. I think maybe if you hang in there, you might be able to come back at 10 times your salary. And I'm not kidding. You go from 200 grand a year to 2 million a year because, hey, if you don't, I don't care. You'll just go out of business in 6 months. Maybe I'll just buy your damn company. All right. And that is, of course, there's nothing backing this except my feelings about this. I don't have any evidence. Do you want to berate me in the comments? Feel free. I don't really care. That's it. Peace.